Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Isaac Lawrence, and you're here at the Fight Fan Podcast, episode 1. I'm here with my guy, Hike, my guy, Michael, my guy, Adam, and we got a special guest, none other than Jason, the Greater Granado. Let's give it up for everybody.
Let's go.
Yes. Like I said, episode 1. First question, Jason, my guy, man. It's great to see you. I just want to ask, man, like, How was your New Year's? How was your holiday? How was your Christmas? Talk to me, bro.
It was fire, bro. Didn't really do too much. Stay local. Went to San Diego for New Year's Eve, just with my girl and her family. Just walk around like Old Town, gas lamp, chill. Christmas was cool. Just doing what us Mexicans do. Party on Christmas Eve.
Fireworks.
Eat tamales.
Bro, talk about tamales, man. You know one thing that I always tell people that never had tamales or are not Mexican? I'm like, you know why Mexicans love having tamales on Christmas? Because it's a gift, bro. You unwrap it and
that's
everything.
Yep, that's true. My girl made Costa Rican tamales because that's where her fam's from.
Oh, dang.
Fire, bro.
That sounds. Have y'all ever had Costa Rican tamales?
No, I don't think anybody has, bro.
What's the difference between
There's like
Costa
chicken
Rican?
in there. There's some like vegetables in there. It's fire, bro.
I know you're out here talking about Mexican traditions, but did you really follow through? You know, did Gator pop off a couple shots over there in the streets? You know, on New Year's Eve. You know, I know a couple times they like to pop off a couple shots, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Gator stayed safe this year, bro. I just went to just go eat, bro, and chill. I watched some fireworks and watched some shots and whatever, but
Probably a little better for the hands. You know,
Yeah,
don't
bro.
want to be near.
Dude, I know, bro. I've had some fucking close calls like that, dog. Not even gonna lie.
I can't even imagine, bro.
Bro,
Jeez.
I have some crazy cousins, bro.
Bro, no,
down.
like you've kind of, talking a little bit about close calls. Like, we were all talking about it. Like obviously you have a very dominant style in the cage or wherever you are. You know, obviously the ring, wherever they putting Gator in, man, he's gonna go kill. But it just seems like there was one fight, and I feel like we were all kind of talking about it a little bit before, where you got dropped, and then you just came back and delivered some of the nastiest leg kicks that we've ever seen. Like, can you give us the breakdown of that? Because that was like how you're saying, your first fight without shin guards too, right?
Yeah, so that was my first fight without shin guards, so I definitely used it to my advantage. The funny story is the guy didn't know it was fighting without shin guards, even though he had like twice the amount of fights. He had like 11 fights or something, and before we went out, he had shin guards on. This is Josh Caldwell's guy. And Cody was like, oh, what are you doing with the shin guards? And he was like, aren't we wearing them? Then we were like, no, hell no. And then so we made him take them off. And when I saw him take them off, I was like, oh, he's got little skinny legs.
He knew what's up, bro.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was
like,
trying to
oh, I'm
protect
like, oh,
himself.
yeah. But I usually come out like boxing heavy, throwing hands and stuff. And then I got dropped. And I'm like, damn, that's some grown man power right there. Like, I don't want to, I'm going to just go for his legs.
Was it the transition of not having the headgear? Did that have anything to do with it, or was it just
It might
you
have.
were just wild at that time? Just
It might have. That was the biggest dude I fought leading up to that point because I was fighting at like 140, 142 at that one. So that was the biggest guy I fought. He was a pretty shredded dude, and he was like 33, so grown man strength on him. So yeah, the headgear probably could have played a factor, but I think he was just probably the hardest hitter I fought still.
because after that fight, you kind of see almost a transition in your game.
Evolution.
It's
definitely.
like you stuck to the basics, kind of everything is more technical, more sharp,
Clean, yeah.
sharp and clean. So it kind of looks like a transition. What do you think about that? Was it a turning point for you, or
Yeah, I mean, bro, even after my first fight, like, we were like, damn, we need to clean up that defense, bro. Like, we got to keep my hands up and everything, but just keep fighting with the headgear and stuff. You get that, like, false little sense of security. So when I finally took it off and then I got dropped, I think that was, like, the big, like, hey, like, this is a wake-up call. I got to worry about my defense more. So after that, I was just...
So after you got dropped, what were you thinking? Was it just, because obviously it wasn't, I'm going to shell up. Was it, I'm just going to attack, or did you have a specific game plan you were going to go for after
Honestly, I was calm. It's crazy when you get dropped. It's a crazy feeling. It feels like you slip. Like, you don't really, feel too many headshots in there because you have so much adrenaline and stuff. You feel the things that really hurt, like a body kick, like a liver kick or a hard leg kick, but hits to the head, you don't really feel, your brain just feels it. So it feels like you slipped. And I got up and I was calm, bro. I knew I was like, all right. And he was throwing hands heavy, so I like right at that moment I knew like I'm going for his legs, and then I landed like 3 hard leg kicks.
Chop down that tree.
Yeah.
Chop down that tree.
Yeah, before that knockout.
You know, and speaking of just your career, You know, you've been fighting for fighters for a long time. I know Adam basically saw
I
like
was
your
about to
whole
say,
career.
like,
Yeah, bro. He's on my
I've
first
seen you
fight.
from your first fight,
Yeah.
literally, actually, from your first walkout.
Yeah,
to now,
that's
like,
crazy, bro. That
that's
wasn't
the
even that
wild
long
part.
ago.
I think about that constantly. Like, I feel really lucky to have just like as I always say, like watch your career and just development, just from a young man to the man you are now, and just going on this journey. Like, has just been absolutely incredible, man.
Bro,
Because I'm
appreciate it,
telling you,
man.
this kid, like, I'll never forget. Like, it's like 10 o'clock at night. You know, we're in Commerce Casino in a hallway. I'm getting tired, but you know, I was
Yeah.
like,
That was
damn, I'm
before
not
they
even
capped the
fighting. Like, and I
fights.
was just like, oh man, you know, man, can we get through this one? This kid is hyped up like, for this first fight. It's like, yeah, and I remember your opponent. You know, he definitely had a few jitters going in, and
Yeah.
as I watched that, I instantly called it. I think I turned to my colleague and friend Joey the Bullet Time. I'm like, this kid's gonna smoke this fool. Like, he's way too locked in and hyped, and
Yeah.
you
Dude, that
know,
was before they put the cap on how many fights you could have on the card. I think that was fight number like 21, I think,
Oh my
on that card.
gosh.
No,
Yeah, it was
you
a long
I
night.
want to even say longer than that. I
Like
think you were
23.
24.
Shit, do something, bro.
Yeah, I've told these
Something.
guys, they're like, you know, they've seen some cards like, oh, 17 cards. I was like, try doing a 25 fight card.
I've done it before, bro. My first ever competition, it was a
Yeah.
PKB, like a smoker. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Joe Shillings in Las Vegas at the High Rollers.
Yeah.
You guys heard of High Rollers?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so he threw like smokers, so they would do like the kickboxing stuff on like Saturday or whatever, on say a Saturday night, and then they'd do the jiu-jitsu after. But dude, his were crazy. He was just allowing knockouts and yeah, and dude, we got there for the rules meeting at like 5 p.m. I think, and I didn't fight till like 1 in the morning.
Wow.
And bro, you don't know when you're fighting.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, next we have Joe and Schmo, and then they're like, all right, next we have Jason Granado. So you're
Yeah.
like getting warm, like shit, they might call me next. Nah, never mind.
You're
It was
just stay warm
bro,
the
your
whole
nerves
time.
are just, yeah, bro.
That's like all the bad buffets open too in
Yeah.
Las Vegas at that time. You know, like
Exactly.
nothing even cool open at
Dude,
2
and it's a
a.m.
freaking like a dispensary, so you're already like high, contact high. At that point. The whole place is hotbox.
You just want to go to sleep the whole time,
Exactly,
you know.
bro.
But
That's what I find wild about the smoker circuit, man, because I've done a couple and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my first one, I weighed in at like 10:30 and then fought at like 7:45 at night. Like,
yeah.
I remember one fool out, he's like, "You're still warming up, man?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I saw you out here 2 hours ago." I was like, "Still in this damn parking lot." Like,
That's crazy, bro.
dude,
Yeah,
talking
like-
about like, I mean, you were saying like obviously smoker fights and like you were starting off being the 25th fights on the fighters rep card, and now you're the main event. And this is all kind of came. We were all talking a little bit earlier. You've like, I mean, talking in terms of MMA and talking in terms of Muay Thai, you're kind of a youngster, man. You've been doing this for only a couple years. Can you really break it down to us, the timeline of how exactly everything started going down, what maybe inspired you to get into Muay Thai? And just because now, I mean, you're over here at 10th Planet, you're coaching, man, a very high prospect in Muay Thai. Like, there's a lot going behind it all, man. Can you just give us the breakdown and just timeline, man? I think we all want to hear it.
Yeah, I tell everyone, like, if you take a step back and look at it, like, yeah, it happened pretty quickly. Like, in less than 2 years, I built this huge fight streak and met all these guys and started training with all these guys. But if you look at it from, like, my point of view and, like, take an inside look, it's like, bro, it's just grinding 2 to 3 times every single day, just all day, grind. Really, like, I have, like, no life, bro. Like, I can't hang out I don't really hang out with my friends too much anymore. I don't go to parties at all or go out, and, like, everybody knows that. It's no secret. So, yeah, if you take a step back, it's like, yeah, damn, that was fast. But you look, it's like, it was a lot of work, bro. A lot of hard work, hours that, like, nobody will ever see and stuff. But, yeah, I started pretty much, I've been an athlete, like, my whole life, playing baseball. And when I was younger, I was always, like, a little fighter, like, always boxing and always throwing on the gloves and fighting at school and stuff and getting suspended. But, like, afterwards, kind of like I graduated during COVID. So it was really hard to keep playing baseball, especially like go to college and play baseball. So like I hung it up, and I didn't want to waste my talent. And I wanted to be something big. I've always wanted to be like, you know, one of the greats in something. So just said this is my time, put all my time into this effort right here.
So you're a 2020 graduate as well?
21.
21, okay.
21.
So
yeah.
what was it that drew you to combat sports specifically?
Like I said, I always loved fighting. I loved boxing more though. I didn't like MMA, like anything. I didn't like that. I was like, oh, I don't like wrestling, or like even like the kicking is weird with the feet and stuff. Like I never liked that. And then So I went into an MMA gym who had a good boxing coach, and I just started boxing with like some of my friends who played baseball. And they had MMA there. The MMA coach was actually Jalen Turner. He was the MMA coach there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good MMA coach.
Yeah.
Well, that was when he was like prelim Jalen Turner.
Oh,
So it was
shit.
like, yeah. So he was the just casually the MMA coach with his MMA class on the side. And I remember like they were doing kickboxing, and I was looking at the kickboxers, and these dudes were like, they have some good boxing. They're throwing hands, and I'm like, damn, they got some good boxing. They can come in here and kind of like hang with me in the ring. But if I go in there with them, I'm getting fucked up, and it's right with me, bro. So just kind of graduating from one art to the other, and here I am now.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Like your rise has been incredible, especially since you are in the IE and we're all, for the most part, in SoCal, with the exception of Michael, Central Valley.
Yeah.
Like we get to see it, and like Adam here from the very, very beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
for
it's
real.
been sick.
It's crazy, bro.
And moving on towards some of the things you're doing now, you're training with professional fighters. You know, obviously, Michael had said at Ruka, and you got to train with Chito Vera, and he has a fight coming up where he's gonna challenge for the UFC strap. And these are people that you're training with, man. So I guess my question is like, how does that make you feel that in a short amount of time you're over here training with potential championship fighters?
It feels good, man. It feels good to just know that my hard work is really paying off, because I have, like I just said, I put hours and hours and hours into this spot, and you know, just taking opportunities. Anytime I got any opportunity, I just took it right away. No matter if I didn't think twice. I'll just always take every opportunity. So, like hitting up Perillo or Perillo hitting me up, going out there, training boxing a little bit, and then getting in there. You know, just taking every single opportunity, man.
So I do want to ask about everybody. You know, by all means, give me your input. But I want to talk about 2023, man. Obviously, we're in 2024 right now.
Yep.
But so much greatness and just things happen in 2023. So let's talk about it a little bit. My first question is, what are some of the things that you accomplished last year that you would just like to share and give us some insight on?
I mean, I became a coach finally. I think I've always wanted to become a coach. Even when I was like playing baseball, I wanted to be like a little, like I would see people breaking stuff down, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So becoming a coach is like one of the things. But I'd say like last year, really towards like middle to the end of the year. I mean, 2022, middle towards the end of the year, it was like, you know, just going up, getting my feet in the door, getting my little like 4-win streak going. And then this year was just like, beat a couple different champions, won 2 different belts, started training with Ruka, Chito, and all them. And yeah, so this year's it's been going by fast, but it's just been nothing but up.
Yeah, man. What about you guys? You guys got any goals that, I mean, I know this guy over here just had his first commentary gig for A1.
That's
That's
dope.
amazing,
That's
man.
sick.
Talk a little bit about that, Mike.
It was
tough to
cool,
do,
man. That was definitely a different opportunity. I mean, like I've done commentary like for like little stuff before, but never really on the level to where like they're actually setting up, like they're telling you to do cues, and they're like, hey, you got to bring in this guy. You're you know, because like in a sense, you're kind of controlling the way that the fights kind of ran in a sense, and it was definitely a very cool experience. Something I'm very excited that they, you know, we talked to Tom a little bit after, and he was really happy to kind of bring me on in some sort of fashion. So a lot of fight fans that were happy with the A1 commentary possibly can look to see me doing like post-fight interviews or be involved in some capacity there in the future. And it was just really cool, you know, because I had a bunch of fighters too hitting me up on the card like, hey, dude, like I watched you commentate my fight, like good job. And that's like, that really means the most to me, is when you have dudes that are actually in the sport or guys that you've watched compete and that you have the most respect for. And they're giving you compliments. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys can all relate. When you guys have the athlete's respect, it just means the most to you. It doesn't, I mean, you can have so-and-so talking to you and saying, oh yeah, this is so cool, or some drunk guy at the fight's telling you that's cool, but it's really cool when you get those fighters texting you and saying like, hey man, like good work, or good stuff, or even coaches. So it was an honor, man. I'm really excited for what 2024 has in store, but really excited for what 2024 has in store for all of you guys too, man, because you guys have been killing it. I'm really excited to see where this podcast goes. I think it's a great podcast. You guys are in the best area for it, man. LA's freaking popping right now for MMA. And I mean, got guys like Gator, you got guys like, I mean, we were just talking about Jalen, Bobby Green's been killing it. I mean, there's so many guys who can go on and on for days, man. So But Hike, man, how about you, man? You've been killing it too, man. 2023, you're out there in Street Beats, you're out there in
man.
Smart Star, you're out there in
Just-
Royal Combat, everywhere, bro.
My eye is tired from shooting with that camera, bro.
You have a permanent squint or what?
Seriously, sometimes driving home from those shoots, it's kind of hard to focus. It's been a long year. It's been fun though. It's like, what else can you say about what we do? We stand in the corner and watch guys do what we love watching them do, kick each other's ass, you know? It's like, we're front row. People pay hundreds of dollars to be at the front row. We're in the corner watching these guys do their thing, you know? And it's just, I noticed this year, the biggest thing with this community is it's an actual community. Everybody loves each other. Everybody is like tight-knit, and it just, everybody works beautifully with each other. The fighters are respectful to the media. Media is always respectful to the fighters. And the fighters that aren't as respectful, they don't really get any play, you know? There's sometimes some guys just hit us up like, hey, you got my photos? Like, no, I ain't got a shit for you, bro. I ain't got shit for you, but...
Hey, your files got corrupted somehow, man. I don't know.
But it's like, then you meet guys like you, and it's like, hey, bro, thanks for the work you did. And you automatically, after the fight, you're like, okay, I'm going to work on this guy's photos first, send it over to him. And it's just a mutual respect because you guys give us so much respect. And you guys put in a lot of work, and we do the same, you know? So it just goes both ways. And all of these guys, I see everybody here in this room at all of these shows putting in work. So it's a tough game, but everybody does a good job, it seems like.
How about you, Adam? What some goals or just a recap regarding 2023 you want to just talk about?
2023 was honestly one of the craziest years of my life, man. Just both like personally and career-wise and school-wise, just in general, man. Like, I guess I'll share like the start of this, right? Like I've shared this story with you. It was kind of like a big role to kind of take on for Fighters Rep. And in one of my like first gigs back, actually, I worked the day after my mother passed. That was like one of the biggest things, you know. And just kind of like, I remember that being, and the reason I share this obviously is not for sympathy. Hey, I have a therapist, I'm doing all right. You know?
It's me, I'm his therapist.
Granado. But just for the fact that it made me really kind of realign of what is my purpose, what is my drive behind everything that I do, and what is my goals at the end of the day. And the major one for me was I wanted to really, really expand my knowledge in media and martial arts and just pursue my passions. And so for one, kind of specifically that event is really, really big to me, just personally, because I got to show a lot of people and a lot of people that reached out to me who said, and just hearing that story, like so many kind words, you know, really, really like who matters to me and who showed up for me and, you know, really show me how fucking awesome this community is, man. The first person to call me when that happened was my coach. You know, first person I called was my training partner, Garrett Boyer. Shout out to the Gare Bear, catch him out. You know, tough ass heavyweight, you know. And so, you know, it really showed me kind of what I'm really, really passionate about. So that was a big thing for itself. And, you know, getting to watch, you know, going from one of the biggest challenges and losses of my life to the next day watching Mike Segura in a crazy ass fight going back and forth with Darren Hollywood Smith. I think, were you ringside for that one too?
Yeah.
Man, that shit was so wild.
That was a crazy
Oh
fight.
man, I remember I saw my girlfriend, she said like, you know, I was tearing up, like looking at you, you know, watching you. I'm like, why, you know? And she's like, I never thought I'd see you smile like that so soon again. You know, and like,
Good, bro.
that was a big thing. And then, which then led into me have the motivation to then earn my blue belt that following summer. That was pretty cool. After also kicking off the year, starting by losing my first jiu-jitsu tournament. But hey, like that was a goal in itself, man. You know, I dieted down, you know, I kept to my diet goals of not doing any sugar. That was really sick. Earning my blue belt and also getting promoted alongside like Mike Segura and got up and coming guy you guys will hear. A guy who actually fought for A1 Combat, Chase
Hell yeah.
Whitmer.
Oh yeah, badass.
Oh man, that guy has, made me smell color before. Man, like after a few rounds with him, I've legit seen sound and smelt color after a few rounds with him, man. And that was so surreal. I did not expect that at all, man. I still remember that. Like walking up, like seeing blue belt, I'm like, who's gonna get promoted, man? That'd be kind of cool if it's me, but like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And like alongside two guys I really, really respect, and like getting to see Mike Segura tear up talking about him and like being an angry 19-year-old to the man he is now was awesome. I met my boy G, and the man behind the camera, kind of like my dedicated.
Shout out to
camera.
G.
Yeah, shout out to G.
Yeah. No, like, as well as we kind of been on this great journey just in our narrative film stuff, we do, that is where I met him, was film school. I'm also an actor and a stunt coordinator, which to one of my biggest accomplishments of the year was I got to rap on my first indie feature.
Hey, okay.
I was a stunt coordinator, actor, and G&E swing, as well as at times set plumber. I don't know, they had so many jobs. Keep on the eye out for that coming, hopefully, this coming year. Yeah, man, honestly. And then honestly, like I said, just, getting ready for here, meeting you guys, really getting to kind of expand myself and really kind of force myself to grow outside of just kind of working for people, but just kind of building out my own brand and content things, man.
Yeah, man, give it up to Adam, man.
Yeah.
Bro, like, honestly,
like I said, I was like, this is gonna be a long answer, but like 2023 was just such an insane year, honestly.
And I'm not trying to take the floor too much, man, but losing someone like that, that's huge, man.
Yeah.
I can speak for myself. I lost my best friend, and that's kind of what got me back into MMA and getting me back into the community. So, I just had to give you that, because that takes a lot, man, to be able to go out to the event and just be in front of people, bro. To be able to, that's the biggest thing, man. Like, and it's so hard for me to look at you right now without wanting to tear up, bro, because it really, that goes to show that you are selfless, and that I had to give you, like, that's big ups, man. I know that was probably, like how you said, a really tough event, really, but that's real, man. That's real, like, for real.
And I say that too, give myself a little bit of props of like, man, I love this stuff. Like I said, like that is the worst tragedy in my life the first thing I wanted to do was just be around my passion, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first and coolest people that helped me through that whole grieving process, even and now, has been just the martial arts community, man. Like all the love that I get from there, and the fact that you meet some of the coolest dudes and some of the most fascinating characters, man. Like, just from working and hanging around fighters reps and even these guys, like, you meet these guys with these crazy stories, I'm sure you guys have met it. Like, you meet guys that have been in like bare knuckle, like crazy, like underground fights to, dudes that, like I said, incredibly talented athletes like Jason himself, like seeing him get to grow on his own from basically a teenager into a young man, is absolutely incredible. And so, the other reason that everybody was saying is like, how'd you get through that, man? How'd you deal with that and everything? I was like, this is what I wanted to do, man. My mom always told me, go live your life, go share your passion, go, don't stop living, regardless of what happens to me. And so that was like the big reasoning why, henceforth why I did that. And so many people said like, is he okay? Is he all right? Trust me, being in a kickboxing event, I'm more than okay. That's where I'm at my happiest. Like, that's heaven to me, man. So no, I'm very blessed in life to have such an incredible passion. And like I said, just meet cool guys like you guys. Like, seriously, like, that really pushed me to like be better every day.
Hey, man.
Shout out to Adam, man.
Damn, I want to give you a hug, bro.
Hey, man, we all had some good 2023s, but I think I know like there was just a lot to talk about, like how Isaac was saying, man, and so many people we could talk about. But let's talk about the UFC a little bit. Let's talk about these,
the fight game in general.
Wow, like let's talk about
before we get to the UFC, how about we talk about just 2023, all the fights we all got to go.
Yeah,
oh
my God.
Yeah, let's start it off with the fight you were supposed to fight. Let's. I heard there was like a little controversy with the other person. What was his name?
Jesse
Langery.
Jesse Langery.
Yeah,
because I saw you after that whole event happened. Like,
Yeah, dude.
I honestly became a fan of you after that fight because you were so cool, calm, and collected. You came in wearing a Kings jersey. I'm a big Kings fan. Props to that, bro. But it's like all the shit that happened, and let's just hear it from you, bro. I want to hear it.
So I heard like the whole build up to the fight, like I heard he was a douchebag. Nobody liked him. I heard nothing but good. But he never talked crap. He never really talked crap or anything, and so it was whatever. I just knew like, oh, I'm probably gonna fight some. Like I fought an MMA guy previously to that, so I was like, I'm just gonna fight one of these kind of drama queens, and we went in there and
Drama queens, I like that.
I'm pulling up, and I think like closer to the fight is when he started talking a little bit of smack. So I'm like, all right, like he's giving me a little something to look forward to, a little more. So then we go to the weigh-ins, and everybody's weighing in. I'm like, where is this dude, bro? Like, pretty sure he lives right around the street from here. I don't know why he's so late. And so he pulls up, with a towel. So I'm like, oh, he literally just got done cutting. And he steps on the scale, and he's like I think he was like 139 or something, bro. Like missed by like 4 pounds. And it's a championship fight. So they're like, yeah, you gotta lose weight to even fight, because that's a lot to miss by. And then he went out.
5.
Yeah, it was something crazy. But he left, came back like an hour later. I think he made 137 and a half or like 138. And they were like he was blaming everybody but himself, bro. He was like, this scale's fucked up. Like, nobody has a towel I could strip down. And then like they had to take him to the restroom with Josh. Josh? Yeah, Shibata. Josh, Mark Reyes, and him had to go to the restroom. God knows what those guys are doing in the restroom, but I'm pretty sure they were weighing him in. And they're just like, no, like, your underwear weighs 0.1 or 0.2. Like, you're not making the weigh in. So, I don't know what he did, but I think he was able to make like 136 and a half or something. And George was kind of like, hey, like if you are you still down to put the belt on the line? And I was gonna say yeah, dude, just because I don't care, bro. I'm down. Yeah, and I was gonna say yeah. So I called Cody, and Cody was like, nah, fuck that. He wants to say because he was saying like I'm an amateur and he's gonna treat me like an amateur. He's a professional. He's gonna treat me like an amateur. He's like, no, he's the one saying that he can make the weight. He can make the weight. So we were still down to do I was still down to do a 3-round regular fight. Yeah. Just not put the belt on the line. Yeah. And he was just calling out everybody, bro. I think he even told Mark Reyes, he was like, who the fuck are you? And was like calling out his wife and stuff. He called the cops on George.
Yeah, I heard, man. Like,
bro.
Yeah. Dude, Jesse's my guy, bro. Like,
yeah, that's your boy. I know that's your homie.
You know.
He's like, Jesse's my guy.
Look, no, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
and devil's advocate.
Yeah, I guess he's a cool kid. Yeah.
Look. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You know, he called me. You called me. Like, you're my guy too, obviously.
Yeah.
Just the thing about Jesse, just like D-Lo and some of the other cats that train in LA, like, they're from my city. You know what I mean? So I always show them love. But at the end of the day, like, he's his own man. Whatever happened, like, that's on him. So I just hope that moving forward, that anybody who is about the fight game, they just do what they need to do to make sure that they're on weight. And because Jesse's not the only story I've heard. I've heard other promotions, you know, just a whole bunch of weight issues at all these different promotions, you know?
There was this dude at UNF a couple fights ago, and he had a mental breakdown of just like 20 minutes before the fight, honestly. And it takes a toll on a person's body, and I get it, but a lot of times some people shouldn't even be in that position. You know, somebody needs to step in and say, hey, you know, you got to take care of your mental issues before you step in the ring. And I think that's the issue
so
with
he made the weight?
some.
Or he missed it?
I think he made weight, and then he just had a mental breakdown.
He made weight, and then he was about to fight, and when he was gonna fight, he had left.
And
scary, bro.
That's not the first time that dude's done that. He's done it to another fighter too
promotion?
in the amateur world. So
you can get away with the amateur.
Yeah, but some people shouldn't fight. Like, there was a boy I used to train with back in the days, and he called me up, hey, bro, can you be my cornerman? I'm going to fight. This was back before I even started doing photos for fighters, Royal Combat. He's like, I'm going to fight for Royal Combat. I have nobody to be my cornerman. Could you corner me? I said, for sure, yeah, I'll be there, bro. I'm calling him up the night before, like, hey, bro, what time we meeting? Nothing. I hear he doesn't even show up to the weigh-ins. And he did this shit 3 other times to like 3 other promotions. So, like, you got to keep that respect in the game. And some people honestly shouldn't be doing it because you did what you needed to do at that point,
Yeah.
right? You made weight. You worked your ass off to make that weight, and that takes a toll on your body too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting weight is not easy on a person.
I mean, look at Tony Ferguson, and then what happened? He cut weight, then he fought Justin Gaethje, and it was not the same.
In the
And
pros, you
you're-
can't get away with it. Like you're gonna in the pros, you do that type of crap. Like you're taking away from somebody's like paycheck, bro.
Yeah.
That's one of the only ways to make money. And then you get suspended and stuff like that. For amateurs, it's like it's just a big waste of time when you do that stuff.
It's just also disrespectful.
Yeah.
Disrespectful to everybody.
Yeah.
Your gym, everybody that's trained with you, everybody that's actually coming to see you fight. So it's some people should kind of take a step back from the sport and look at their mental game before they get in it.
Mike, I know you have a story.
I was gonna say, man, talk about weight misses. The A1 combat card we were talking about. Not trying to bring it up like one more time, but dude, there was one light heavyweight bout, and I mean, light heavyweight, that's a hard weight to miss. I mean, 205, like, you know, I feel like that's a pretty good cushion. This fight, Joseph Ramirez, Adrian Silva. Adrian Silva weighs in 50 pounds over the light heavyweight
fuck
limit.
up.
So he weighed in at 245. So it was supposed to be at 205. The other guy weighs in at the other guy weighs in at 197.
Don't show up to the weigh-in.
I didn't
Yeah,
even like-
the
I
other
didn't
guy
even
weighs
like
in at
this.
197. And then, so Tom, like, we talk about it on the, like, if you watch the card, like, he talks about it. He's like, you know, the month before, Adrian just hits me up and says, I'm not going to be able to make the weight. I'm like, how are you as a fighter signing up for a bout like, oh, yeah, 205 on the, you know, and then just being like, yeah, I'm not going to make the weight a month out. Like, that. There's a difference between a month out and between, like, oh, yeah, like, a week of, or maybe even like how you guys were saying, like the day of, like, you know, I mean, but man, like how you guys were like, fuck, what the fuck, like 50 pounds. I was looking at the tail of the tape, like, I mean, I seen it at weigh-ins too, but I was just like, dude, and then the fight happens. Adrian Silva, the first little transition to the ground, he hits his head and he's done. He's done. Like he just, it's a submission, quote unquote, after like 15 seconds. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. How are you gonna, the whole process for the fight and then give up after 15 seconds just because he fell on his head? Like,
I don't know what goes through people's
was-
heads sometimes.
I
no,
just-
I was
have a
must
good one,
that was
too.
so bad.
Yeah, I have one for my team. How did I forget about this? Again, same shout out to my boy Garrett Boyer, the Gare Bear. His first amateur fight, so he's a heavyweight, right? He was supposed to fight a guy, I think, for one, the guy he fought was like 6'8", you know, Armando, I believe, out of the Shack system, man. Guy's giant. I think they were supposed to fight at, I think about 300 pounds or something like that. Like something.
Jeez,
Or no,
some heavy weights,
265
bro.
or something like that.
Some sumo.
He
right
misses
there.
by like already 20 pounds. So my boy is like 246, 2 something. Armando came in at 330 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And bruh, like my boy got dropped in the first second, and he told me, he's like, I've never been hit by somebody like that. I was like, well,
6'8",
because there's
330,
6'8", 330 behind it, and he just goes,
D-line
boom,
or
like
something.
this. He hit him with the check hook just like this, and my boy dropped, and we're all like terrified. But then my boy just dogged it out against them and won the decision. But yeah,
Damn.
almost, yeah, it's like
That's almost 100
70
pounds. Right?
Almost 100 pounds, almost a 100-pound miss at heavyweight.
6'8", 330s. Like my boy, you're in the wrong sport, bro.
Yeah.
For real, the NFL needs to be calling, bro. I think
whole lineman for
I
the
think
Raiders.
left tackle
I
is
stood
needed,
next
bro.
to this guy
Somewhere.
Just because I saw him walking around, I'm like, I gotta just like be near him, right? Just to see, like, because I'm a pretty tall dude.
Yeah.
I'm 6'2", and I'm like looking up at this guy, you know, like I'm a 150-pound man, so like seeing anybody over 200 looks massive to
Yeah.
me, but seeing a 300-pound guy,
At 6'8",
6'8", and my boy's gotta go fight him in like half an hour, I'm like, yeah, man, who screwed you over? Like,
Who's the hardest hitter you've ever fought?
Probably the guy that dropped me.
He was the
Or the
hardest.
I've ever like fought like in the or like even like
Ever. Like,
Sparred
who's the
anything?
hardest hitter?
Yeah.
Chito Vera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heavy hands, huh?
Yeah, heavy hands, bro. He spars hard, bro. He spars hard. He's dropped me once.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? We were actually talking, me and Mike, on the drive over here about Chito. Since you brought him up, he's really known for his clean living, his clean lifestyle. And we noticed on your Instagram, as of maybe the past 6 months or so, you've been really eating a lot of steak. You know, some real good eating. Has that training with him and his influence kind of influence your eating habits?
Dude, I mean, I was eating like that and doing all that before, and it was from him. Like he actually inspired me kind of to fight. One little story, like before that first fighters rep, was it like April 30th, 2022? He fought that same day. He fought Rob Font in the main event, and
Like an ass whooping. That was, oh my
we
God.
didn't fight till like what 10 p.m. We were just back there killing time.
We were
I was
not
watching
me and
it.
you, but like different people were watching it around there.
So I was watching that fight.
Everybody was trying to find a connection.
And he just went out there, bro, like a savage, and he was just handling him. And I literally remember some of the combos he was throwing. I was like, dude, I'm gonna just do this right now. I'm gonna be like Chito right now. And then fast forward a year later, I'm training with this man, sparring with this man. Like,
That's awesome.
it's sick.
Dude.
But
That's
yeah, I've
awesome.
always taken influence to guys like that and living healthy. But yeah, like a little bit more when I started training with him, like the running and like cold plunging and the steaks and all that.
When you started training with him, did you kind of have to like calm yourself? Like, hey, I'm training with it, like a guy I used to look up to. What was the feeling that you had? You know,
Maybe
it's
like the first day.
I remember pulling up to Ruka.
butterflies. Or
Yeah, so they say like around 10, 10:30, that's like when the class, or not class, like the practice starts. And so I got there like around 10, or I think I even got there a little early because my first day.
You're all excited.
Yeah, so I got there and we were just chilling. I think it was his wrestling coach there, and he was coaching doing like a private session with some kids. And he was like, "Hey, what's up, bro? I'm one of his coaches." He's like, "Yeah, you can just chill here." And then it's a sparring day. Like that's the first day I'm pulling up to, so I'm just waiting. And then I hear like around the corner, I hear Perillo's voice because he's got the most obvious voice, the most unique voice.
Distinct for sure.
Deep ass voice. You can hear him, and so I meet him, and then we're waiting a little bit. I'm kind of warming up, and then I saw Chito walk in. I'm like, fuck, dude, that's crazy, man. There he is, and just shook his hand, introduced myself, got in the ring, and just fist fought for like 3 5-minute rounds with him real quick.
Nah, you guys got. I mean, there's tons of killers over there that go through Ruka. I mean, obviously, not only Cheeto, but you also have Max Tucker. He's also a killer over
Max,
there.
yeah,
And
my boy
then you
Max.
also got Luke Rockhold. He's over there taking visits. I mean, I feel like there's so many guys that
Elijah,
go.
for 559.
Elijah, Elijah Azuna, former 559 fights champion. Like, there's
savage.
so many guys. And I'm wishing him the best of recovery as well. I know he had an injury in his last bout against Ewing, but dude, man, there's so many guys that I felt have come out of that Ruka gym. What is kind of the trajectory of that? Because I know, I mean, we're kind of, a lot of us that are in the community, we were really saddened when everything kind of closed down with the Ruka gym. Is there possibly a chance of it reopening? And we've seen some videos Perillo posting, obviously the ring and everything's still intact. So is there a possibility that there's going to be a Ruka gym in 2024 or possibly beyond?
I don't know, maybe not like a Ruka gym, but maybe like a new Perillo gym, because it was like, I'm pretty sure it was the whole brand, like that whole place moved. It wasn't like here, like you pull up and it's the gym just for fighting. It's like, it's their warehouse, bro. It's where they do all their shipping and their modeling, and then in the back in the storage room, they just casually have this nice ass huge gym with an octagon and rings. Like they just casually have it in there. So I think it was the whole brand that moved, so it kind of forced them to kind of kick them out a little bit. So there was a little weird time where we were just kind of finding areas of training. Like we were training in the park a little bit. I have videos of me sparring Chito in the park and shit, like old people in the back on the benches watching, and then trained at Big Boy. Shout out Big Boy from Strength Cartel. We trained at his gym. He has his little. It's crazy. It's like a little storage unit, bro. You just pull up the shed and it's just
I think
nice
I've
ass
seen that,
machines in there, nice ass ring in there.
Is that down in San Clemente or like?
Like Costa Mesa area, still like Newport area, but so shout out Big Boy. We were in there getting hard ass rounds. That's where I met the Rutolo brothers, Cade Rutolo. Been training with him. Started training with him the last few times. We went to Black House and sparred there. Learned a little bit from Cade. So bro, there's some good guys coming out of that gym. I think I'm pretty sure they already found something right now.
Growing your love a little bit for grappling, because I know you said you aren't the biggest fan of it, but the Rotolo brothers obviously got a ton of respect in the grappling community, both black belts and obviously both huge competitors in one championship. Have they kind of been teaching you a couple things? Any chance we'll maybe get to see you use any of that in action? Any jiu-jitsu tournaments? Anything you've been planning?
Yeah. No, I don't hate on grappling. I like grappling. I wasn't talking no smack. When I saw a little bit of that Aljamain that little grappling match
Yeah.
Aljamain
That
Sterling
was
just
dope.
did, and I agreed with him, bro. After, it was like, you can't just butt scoot at somebody,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey,
I'm
shout out
like,
to my guy
Yeah.
Dylan Rush and them, man. They were over there at that event, man. I was supposed to be
Yeah.
out there too. I was literally talking to him
Yeah.
about. I was supposed to be out. I wish
Yeah.
I would have watched.
We
that
gotta
in
be
person.
careful what we say. We're at 10.
I know what I'm saying, bro. I got
gotta
a
be
jiu-jitsu
careful.
side behind me, so I can't talk. No, we teach good stuff over here, but like with Aljamain Sterling, like I don't want to see, you know, some guy just sit to his butt and butt scoot the whole time. And then we were told, brothers, if you watch any of their matches, they don't do that.
No.
Bro. They're wrestling heavy. They're actually like really fun to watch. So no, just like the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I'm still, you know, growing and all that. And I still have a pretty good interest for that and love for that, but I just want to use it to get up, bro.
So,
That's
all right.
a good point,
Use it
though.
to get up.
Because, and I like kind of what you brought up as well, like, because it has been a common theme within the jiu-jitsu community in general. That is a little bit where I got my start. Man, that just the overall rule sets and the fact that you're seeing a lot of more competitions to eliminate stalling, man. Like, I think that's one of the biggest problems out and when you watch the sport of jiu-jitsu. Nobody like, yes, you'll win matches. Yes, we all play the game. People want to see action. People want to see progression. People want to see advancement out of their matches. They want to see what techniques work, man. I don't want to see one guy just have a strength match.
As a photographer, I won't go into
Yeah.
any. Honestly, I've been to a couple, but
fair point.
why am I gonna watch somebody scoot their ass on the ground? And like, I could go to the park and watch dogs do that. You know, I don't. It's not
Yeah.
entertaining.
And there's a reason.
Sorry, I'm a stand-up guy too,
out,
so
shout out to
maybe.
Planet, baby.
But I love Muay Thai. I love the stand-up game, but it's. The scooting on the ground, they got to get rid of that. It's just
Well, to give credit to 10th Planet, man, and why I think they took off in popularity in the jiu-jitsu scene was the fact that, you know, just take for a fact the leg lock game. You know, the fact that you got, I will never forget when the first time I watched Kyle Chambers hit like a spinning leg lock, like this crazy 6'3", super flexible dude, just go to the ground, hit like this cartwheel looking Imanari roll thing and like almost snap a guy's leg, man. That's what's exciting.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, again, you see brands and gyms like 10th Planet take off, and you see guys that maybe they don't have the craziest record or the craziest technique or the best fundamentals, but because they're more exciting and they do win matches with great finishes, that's why you want to follow them.
I remember one of the last times I trained was with Cade. We were at a black house, and I remember one of the guys like shot a little double on him because they were striking, and they shot a double on him. They actually lifted Cade up in the air, and they were able to slam him. As soon as they slammed him, they were already in a buggy choke, and they had to tap within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like that flashy stuff, like
Yeah.
you're saying, it's fun to watch, bro.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, you know, you got to rest a little bit, especially when you go to that high of a level. Like you're doing jiu-jitsu matches in the UFC Apex or whatever. Like you got to use a little bit of wrestling, bro.
Yeah,
You got to be a little realistic there.
you got to use some force.
Yeah.
You know, just.
Well, going back to the Aljamain Sterling competition, like I think because combat sports is getting so popular with just, you know, the mainstream, we're starting to see a lot more just push on the jiu-jitsu community, and that's great, man. Because honestly, jiu-jitsu has been around before, you know, MMA and some of these other sports. So the fact that now they're starting to get some love, I think that's like awesome.
Popular now, bro.
And hopefully that will in turn transition to better rule sets and things like that. But I do want to transition. I'm sorry. I want to transition to 2023, and I just want to talk a little bit about some of our fighters of the year that we may have personally. I want to talk about amateur fighters, professional fighters, regional, and then we can talk about maybe a UFC one championship. So I'll start first. So I'm gonna start with the pros. For me, my fighter of the year, professionally, is Sean Strickland, bro. Sean Strickland, I feel like killed it this year.
Yeah.
Not just winning the bout and obviously having a dominant performance against Izzy, but just what he did with his brand, right? And all the awareness that he's putting out there regarding mental health and things like that. But a close second, just because he's been a savage this year. Mike Perry, bro. Mike Perry has been killing it this
Bro, that's a
year
good one, bro.
with the bare
Actually,
knuckle shit.
that's a good
like,
one.
He's been killing it. So
Oh, shout out Mike Perry.
shout
bro.
out Mike Perry.
That's just so funny
That's
how
like
like
a solid sleeper goat pick.
Yeah.
bro,
no,
it's
it
funny
really
how
is.
he was like he was good in UFC, but he was never like top 5.
Yeah,
or
his
nothing.
fan
He was never.
favorite, yeah.
He was cool like to watch and shit. And then he goes to this promotion. He's like the John Jones of this organization now, bro. It's so funny.
I would say my fighter of the year, man. I know I love the Sean Strickland pick. Like that's something I totally respect. But I mean, I just can't like. As being somebody that was such an Islam hater going into 2023, I got to give it to Islam, man. Beating Volk twice and then coming off the Oliveira win, dude. Like, I remember being at a college game, watching that Oliveira win, being like, God, man, like, I don't want to see this guy's champ. And then seeing him dominate in that Volk fight. And then even, too, I remember watching in February, it just really, like, watching that fight back, too, now I have a lot more admiration for it, especially after the KO win. So I really got to give it to Islam. And I feel like how you were saying, too, with his branding, I feel like he's done, I know Khabib was really popular after the fact, 29-0 and everything. But if you really think about it, he wasn't too popular in the sense of a lot of mainstream fans. He didn't have that Conor-like appeal. And I feel Islam is gonna possibly get some of that appeal. I mean, you already see the UFC making a huge push in Abu Dhabi, and he's obviously a big part of that push. So I feel like he's kind of the guy that I would say is the fighter of the year. 2 big wins, one of those being in Abu Dhabi. Possibly going to see a lot more main events being centered around him in the future. So Islam Makhachev, man, 2024 fighter of the year. But Hike, Adam, how about yourselves?
Adam, let's go with Adam first. Go ahead.
Oh, man. I mean, the Sean Strickland's pick is a very solid one. Shout out to him. He sparred down a sub-fighter
there you go.
down with Moses Marietta. Man, but the other 2 that really came to mind for me, and this might be like, one's a little mainstream, one's a little bit odd, but Alex Pereira, man. Like, let's talk about Alex Pereira. You know, the guy that knocked out the middleweight champ here.
Yeah.
Kick that off and then go and knocks out like Israel Adesanya. Granted, then, you know, got knocked out again, but then comes back and wins, you know, the light heavyweight title, beats Jan Blachowicz, and then as well as,
They're just crazy.
you know,
Yuri.
beats Yuri.
Yeah.
Shut out Yuri.
Yeah.
Completely shut him
He's
out,
probably
man.
the best short-term UFC career
That's
ever.
exactly
Best
the
short-term
shortest
MMA
run,
career
Yeah.
ever.
MMA career.
wanna talk
and it's
about
just
Conor, but-
dominating,
He has like
like
11 fights in MMA, bro.
Yeah.
He's 2-division champ.
I think, I can still count his UFC fights on like one hand practically,
Yeah.
and the majority of those are championship performance. And the other one I want to say,
Crazy.
just because he doesn't get enough love, Johnny Eblen. Like that one, like I really feel like just in the middleweight division, he's so underrated, man.
Yeah.
Like to beat Gegard Mousasi like he did, man. And shout out to Curtis, I Capture Violence, who I think the day before he won the championship, like he said something where he was kind of doubting Johnny, right? And then Johnny responded to him, right? Goes, wins the championship, and then responded again to Curtis. And
wow.
Curtis is like, I was a fan ever since.
And the thing about Johnny and some of these, because he's not in the UFC, like that, they don't get the love
I
from the
know.
mainstream fans, you know, out of like we know
why.
who he is, but no, that's definitely a great pick outside of
and you
UFC.
beat Fabian Edwards, you beat everybody, you know, handedly.
Yeah, we need to
Like,
see him in the UFC
Yeah.
for sure. All right, Hype.
I'm gonna have to go with Superbond, bro. That
Okay.
left kick does it for me, you
Switching
know.
it up.
Yeah, you know, one championship. I like the stand-up game, so I think that left kick, bro, it's dominant. I don't think anybody in the stand-up game can ever stop that. You know, he knocked out the doctor, broke his jaw like that. He did that to Chinggis, knocked him out cold.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Gregorian.
Yeah, you know, it's just, I don't know anybody that could stop that, you know, it's just
it's
technically sound, it's just, I see him as the fighter of the year.
All right, man. What about you?
Abdul Wahid.
I do.
Oh, okay.
It's
A little bit of a
Gervonta.
switch up.
Nah,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
Gervonta.
Gervonta. I just wanted to say Abdul. I wanted to say his name. You didn't see that?
No, I did see that. It
his
took me
new
a second.
name.
to-
No, I was
like,
just shocked you picked him. I'll be honest with you. I was like, dang, all right.
I
I was
did,
like,
and I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like,
He had
is
a
that,
pretty
wait, is that his
crazy-
new name?
no, that's
his new
it's
name,
his
bro.
new name.
Converting to Islam?
Pretty crazy name. I mean, a pretty crazy year too for him. But Leon, when he beat Usman that first time, that was last year, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that was
was
2022, huh?
that was 2022, yeah, August,
okay.
I believe. And then he went into this year. He had the one fight with Usman, then he had the fight with Colby.
I mean, you could say Leon.
yeah.
Leon, he beat. I mean, bro, there was a time
I mean,
where.
look at his performance.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when like Usman was Like there was nobody beating
I mean,
Usman.
they were literally saying like Usman
Over in
was-
GSP.
yeah, over
Yeah.
Yeah,
GSP.
yeah,
down.
he was the GOAT. Like there was no stopping him at all, and then to go in there and then do that and then beat everyone else. I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's hard to not give it to Sean Strickland, bro. I mean, that dude went 3-0, beat the like GOAT of that division, bro, and yeah, coming from nothing. Probably Sean Strickland, I'd say, or Jason Granado. Not a
Well, that was my next thing I was gonna say. Now I wanted to talk about amateur fighters. You know, I think the easy pick, right, for me is Jason Granado, man. Like
Thank you, bro.
Jason, you not only been killing it 2022, but 2023. I mean, you defended your bout. You're the champion at Fighters Rep. Man, bro, like you had an amazing year, and a close second for me. And I gotta shout out my guys from East Los, LA, Montebello. I gotta give it up to D'Angelo Gianni because
Savage.
D'Lo,
Yeah.
he just won gold at the USMTOs, so he's definitely a close second. And hopefully we get that 135-pound fight one day with Jason and D'Lo.
Yeah, that'll be one for. We'll save that one for something big,
Yeah.
man. That's a big fight right there.
But we'll switch it up. How about we'll start with Adam?
Oh, I was about to say, I'm still thinking of mine.
I'll go with me, man. I'm gonna go with an LA resident, somebody over there at Classic Fight Team, man. My guy Blake DeCourcy, Blake the
he
Snake,
killed
man.
it
He's
last
been killing it. Ended his amateur career undefeated over there at 559 fights. Beat a very game Ramon Cornejo with he dominated him, and Ramon's a very, very good fighter in his own right. But man, the performance that he put up in that fight, very dominant stand-up performance, took it to the ground, got that guillotine choke in. And then even too, when he earned the title earlier in the year and was able to defend it. So he earned the title, had 2 defenses. I mean, it's hard not to give it to him. He's most likely going to be fighting for A1 combat as well. So, I mean, Blake DeCourcy, man, training over there with Classic Fight Team, was helping Tony Ferguson get ready.
Shout out Classic,
I mean,
bro.
Jeff Craig is coach over there as well, you know, and
Shout
man,
out
just,
to him,
there's some dogs,
Shout
man.
out Classic
So
Fight Team.
there-
Shout out
there's
Tyler,
some-
bro.
Yeah,
Some savage. I've been there a
beasts
few
over
times.
there, dude. You've gotten to go train over there a couple
I've
times.
sparred Blake before too.
Yeah, no,
Diego,
you
all
guys
of them.
are. I was gonna say you guys are kind of right around that like same like height, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe a
he's a
little
pretty
taller
big
than you.
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's a savage, bro.
Hike, how about yourself?
Ooh, I got to give it up to my guys at Matador. You know, Christopher London, that's my boy. Been seeing him from day one. First day he came in the gym, lost his last fight, but he had a strong year. Rayshawn Rowland, my boy, also wrecked it in the first fight of the year, 2 fights of the year. Broke his hand. He's gonna come back, ruin shit. But I gotta say one thing. My favorite punch of the year, bro, that uppercut that ended the fight with Isaac
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Ooh, bro, that came out of nowhere. So I'm putting that as my favorite punch knockout of the year.
Yeah.
So you get that one.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
All right. I mean, first one just because like he really, really blew me away with both performances and fought some really tough competition. Joseph Parker, Parker,
yeah.
you gotta give it up, bro. Like, I think that dude's incredible. Like, just his fluidity and movement and calmness, and the fact too, man, he's fought some tough guys. Christian Zoller, Hosrov Sadorov, man, like Dylan Ludwig, man, training over
Butcher.
with Giovanni
Butcher,
LaRue,
baby.
like, man, tough
Shout out to
one.
Giovanni LaRue, man. Nobody wants to fight this guy, bro.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to
nobody-
see him.
I'll fight you, Gio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do it right now. That's my boy.
I want to see him fight live so bad. No. You're
He'll
so
kill me,
right.
bro.
I've
He's
yet to
fucking
see him
huge.
fight live because nobody wants to fight him.
Catchweight.
Like,
What about you?
I'm gonna give it to my boy Nathan Hawthorne, bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's been killing it, man.
Yeah.
He won about like
Nathan
3 different titles this year: Muay Thai, MMA. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a champ for Fighters Rep pretty soon. So I'd say Nathan Hawthorne, bro. He's
Yeah, big
savage, man.
I
Savage.
forgot
That's
about him. Yeah,
one of the
bro.
most talented dudes. Yeah,
Never
one of the most
forget about
talented dudes
Nathan.
ever.
Yeah.
Shout out.
He's on top of my list too.
Yeah, shout out 10 Planet Beaumont. He's a Muay Thai coach over here too. So
I was gonna say,
Bro, we
my
might
other
have to
guy
all get
who fought
memberships
him.
here because
know,
like,
for real,
the people
man.
that are teaching, man, high level.
These kids are lucky, man.
yeah,
I
I
swear.
say this is out all the 10 planets that I know, like in California or anywhere, like this is the best. This is the one that has the best striking program for sure,
Oh,
bro.
man.
Like we take our striking serious over here. We got champions.
I got an honorable mention for the pros. This is regional for me. I got to give it up to Taco, bro. Taco Padilla. He won the championship at UNF, defended it against a UFC veteran, and made it look easy, bro. Made
really
it
did.
look easy. So shout out to him. We're gonna be wrapping it up pretty soon. Jason has to teach the Muay Thai class here at 10th Planet.
You know, spread
So-
the good, teach the good word.
So yeah,
Spread the good word.
gotta give back to the little ones. You know, they're gonna
Yeah.
be killers of themselves. So I guess we'll start with the left and come this way. Do you have any just shout outs or just anything you want to tell the people out there?
Follow me on my socials, adam.araby, Araby. Got some big stuff on the way. Again, shout out to actually my other fighter of the year, David Death Dealer Marquez, man.
Yeah,
That guy
amazing.
also had an incredible 2023. Got some content with him coming out soon, guys. And yeah, just expect more from me.
All right, we'll do you last. And go ahead.
Hey, man. Just want to thank, obviously, Isaac for inviting me out here. I want to thank Hike, all the boys over here. Adam, I mean, they've all shown me love. So it's always cool coming over here to the Los Angeles area. Want to thank, obviously, the 559 Fights team, everybody over there in the 559 for always showing me love on all my content and letting me to grow and letting me to go out here down south, go up north. And yeah, man, it's been really cool journey. Really excited for the rest of the year. And yeah, just as I stated earlier, be expected for more of that A1 content, A1 combat content. You know, make sure to follow me at mlhmedia.mma. Should be the first thing that pops up if you search MLH Media. If not, then just put the .mma. But yeah, man, make sure y'all follow me.
Hike, my guy, Hike.
Hike from HIS Photography. Go follow me. You know, we're gonna be doing these podcasts. We're gonna be interviewing everybody. Just look out for us this year. Me and Isaac and the boys, we're gonna be putting in some work, working with some big names. So just keep your eye out for us out there, you know?
Jason?
Yeah.
You guys know where to follow me. Just at my name, Jason Granado. Make sure to get tickets at fightersrep.com or hit me up for my fight on March 2nd. I'm going to be defending my battle against Sergio Rodriguez. Shout out this whole community. Like you were saying, man, it's the best community. I've played many different sports, baseball, football, all of them, bro. And nicest athletes, nicest people are in the fighting, surprisingly. So, like, these guys drove an hour, 2 hours, you know,
We got
almost
5 hours.
3 hours,
Hours.
3.5 hours. Like, they just drove just to come, you know, shoot stuff with me from, like, it's shout out the community, man. And shout out all our guys who are going to be doing big things this year from, like, Squirrel Muay Thai, 10th Planet Boma. Shout out the man, Luciano Ortiz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Giving me this opportunity to coach and spread my talent here. And I'm hyped for 2024, man.
And that's it, guys. It's Isaac Lawrence. I just want to shout out everybody. Stay blessed. All these guys here. 10th Planet, thank you for allowing us to come into your home. And yeah, man, we got a lot of content coming up in 2024. So this has been the Fight Fan Culture Podcast, episode 1. And we out.